Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mia Tiffany, and today we are going to be watching a classic romantic comedy. So the movie that we're going to be watching today was released in 1940 at the historic Radio City Music Hall. It was directed by George Cukor, who might sound familiar for those of you who have seen part 1 of my Gone with the Wind series. And it stars Katharine Hepburn, Cary Grant, and the very talented James Stewart. Yes, everybody, I'm talking about The Philadelphia Story. I'm so excited. Shout out to Nicholas Bielik and Jabberbone1 for recommending this. Thank you so much. So a quick synopsis of this film. When a rich woman's ex-husband and a tabloid-type reporter turn up just before her planned remarriage, she begins to learn the truth about herself. I'm excited to see what that means. So prior to this film, Katharine Hepburn was actually blacklisted in Hollywood. She was referred to as box office poison. So this project as a whole was really a way for her to refresh her career. And when word got around that she wanted to refresh her career, her good friend Philip Barry, who was a playwright, actually wrote this play for her. So before this was a film, this was actually a Broadway play. And he actually tailored the role of Tracy Lord for Katharine Hepburn. So this project really was a way for her to refresh her career. I think that's really cool that she had friends who really believed in her and believed in her career. Both Katharine Hepburn and James Stewart were nominated for Best Actress and Best Actor, respectively, at the Academy Awards. And James Stewart actually won Best Actor for this year. But a lot of people believe that was because he didn't get acknowledgement. Yeah, that's a word. He didn't get acknowledgement for his role as Jefferson Smith in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. And so a lot of people believe that that's why he got the award. So we're just going to jump right into this movie. But before we do, y'all already know the deal. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification to stay in the loop. All right, everyone, it is time to get your drinks, get your snacks, get cozy, and let's get into the Philadelphia Story. Oh, by the way, everyone, this is my first ever Cary Grant film. Like, I've never seen a film with Cary Grant in it, so I'm really excited to see, like, how he acts. Oh, dang. Ooh! She's mad. Oh, no. You can't mush people in the face. One thing I wanted to say about that scene, though, is, like, it was all nonverbals, but the fact that they used the music to kind of set the tone of what was going on. Like, you already know that these two people obviously separated, but the music shows you that there are two people who are separating, who don't necessarily love each other anymore. So I loved the way that they utilized the music there. I think that was really cool. Okay, so she's getting remarried. Miss Tracy Lord Haven is getting married to Mr. George Kittredge.
If absolutely necessary. These cards have been changed again.
There must be a ghost loose in the house. Maybe the ghost of bridegroom number 1.
Oh, don't talk about Dexter.
I love that they have her in a pantsuit, because usually I see a lot of actresses, they're in, like pencil skirts and a nice blouse. But I think it speaks a lot to her character, the wittiness and the cunningness of her character, and how she's very independent and very her own person. And that's that you can see that in the clothes that she's wearing. It's fitting for her character.
George is handsome.
I like Dexter.
Really? Why don't you postpone the wedding? How? Get smallpox.
Now, don't put the idea in her head.
Dinah doesn't want Tracy to get married to George because Dinah is still like C.K. Dexter, which is Tracy's ex-husband. So that's why she's like, oh, I hope the wedding postpones. That makes sense.
Where'd you get this idiotic thing, anyway? Hey!
You're not to be fire, child, particularly on the eve of your wedding.
Like, a lot of this film was, like, created for her. This pantsuit that Katharine Hepburn is in, I read that the designer on the project called Adrian designed this pantsuit specifically for Katharine. But I think it's so cool, like I said a little while ago, how everyone really believed in her reviving her character or reviving her career. And they tailored this character for Katharine. And the way that she plays it thus far it feels very natural. Like she's really in her element in this movie. I definitely believe so.
A slice, 2 fried eggs. The congressman kisses his wife good morning.
Lots of people like publicity.
Of all the filthy ideas. Coming into a private house with a camera. George Kittredge, you get on that horse.
I love the wittiness in the dialogue. Like, it makes it so much fun to watch. I don't know. I love how witty Katharine Hepburn is and how she's very in her element in this movie.
Steady, Bessie.
Oh, you're almost there? There you go.
Hey, well, what's the matter, Bessie? You act worried.
Maybe it's because his name is Jack.
He's calling the horse the wrong name. That's funny.
Right. Hello, Joe.
Hi, Mike.
It's James Stewart.
I'm going to tell Sydney Kid very plainly and simply I'm a writer. I'm not a society snooper. I'm going to tell him just that.
Just that.
For those of you who have been watching these videos for a while, y'all know I love James Stewart. That's one of the reasons why I chose this movie. Because I really love James Stewart. He's really cute.
Tracy Lord. Big game hunting in Africa, fox hunting in Pennsylvania. Married on impulse and divorced in a rage. And always unapproachable by the press. The unapproachable Miss Lord. The Philadelphia Story.
Oh, so that's why it's called The Philadelphia Story, because he's trying to get a story from Tracy Lord, like her and her life.
Go ahead, Connor. Writing's your job. I'm only the publisher.
All right, publisher, take this. Quote, "No hunter of buckshot in the rear is cagey, crafty Connor." Unquote. Close paragraph.
Close job, close bank account.
I love how quippy this is, and all of the wittiness of the dialogue is so entertaining. Like, I can see why these were so entertaining for back in the day, because the way that they talk with each other, it's not like boring at all. It's like very exciting. I don't know why. I don't know. I love the wittiness of the dialogue.
Ask the gentleman to come in.
And there's Cary Grant. I know a lot of you said that you liked Cary Grant and like you love his films. So I'm really excited to see him act in this movie. He's very handsome.
You might say Miss Lord and I grew up together.
You might also say you were her first husband.
Who is this? She's a queen.
Maybe they'd rather we go around to the servants' entrance, huh?
Maybe this is the servant's entrance.
I could not imagine living in a house this big, with only, 4 people in your family? Ugh, I would need, like, a horde of people to live in there with me. I love that the director decided to pan the camera instead of change it to the face of the butler. It just made the moment more hilarious.
This is the bridal suite. Would you send up a couple of caviar sandwiches and a bottle of beer?
What? Who is this?
This is the voice of doom calling. Your days are numbered to the 7th son of the 7th son.
Oh my god, I love the dialogue in this.
And I don't suppose the Junius's friends are photographers by any chance. I thought you were low.
Wait, Red, wait. You don't have to telephone Junius, I'll confess. No, you're slipping, Red. I used to be afraid of that look. The withering glance of the goddess.
There's something in Cary Grant's presence in this film that I find really, like, refreshing. And there's like a funny aspect to his character, but there's a calmness too that I really like, contrasted to Katharine Hepburn's Tracy Lord, where she's very, like, cutthroat, very independent, a little bit more fiery. It's kind of like water and fire, and they kind of like weave together. Right now they're not really mixing, but they all are at the same time. Like, you can tell that there's definitely chemistry there, which I really, again, like I've said in my previous videos, I love to see chemistry between 2 actors, but their personalities really mesh. Like, he's calm, she's fiery, and it works. Like, I like it.
What is that butler?
The family will be down to welcome you in a moment.
What with?
With open arms. They're terribly, terribly happy to have any friends of Junius's here.
Well, they don't know about us, do they?
Oh, why should they? Look, Haven.
Okay, so the reason why they're doing this Philadelphia Story, from what I'm understanding, is because of blackmail. Because Sydney Kidd, the publisher, has dirt on Tracy Lord's father. because I guess the father is very friendly with a dancer, and so Sydney Kidd has that dirt on the father, so Sydney Kidd wants Connor, Embry, and Dexter to find this story on Tracy. So I think that's kind of what's going on right now.
Our happy little family.
Papa!
Oh. So that's Uncle Willie. That's not Papa.
Papa!
They are playing game with these reporters.
How long will you be researching?
Well, not long if I can find the right books. It's family history and stuff like that.
There's a cousin Joanna that's definitely crazy.
Who told you?
Dinah.
Well, Dinah should know.
Come across the street when you've finished. Miss Hobson's establishment.
Hobson, okay.
But I saw that Miss Embry was driving the car, and I remembered from Gone with the Wind, which took place in the 1860s, but they talked about like a woman driving her own like stagecoach or driving her own like buggy or whatever. And I wonder if that is still kind of held up in the 1940s, so like the 1940s. And the fact that they're like depicting Embry driving the car instead of, you know, a man or like a driver driving her. I don't know if that speaks to her character or the overall theme of the film, and the fact that there's a lot of strong female characters in this film. But that's just something that I noticed. I don't know if they did that intentionally. Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting observation.
What is the wish?
I'm looking for some local What'd you say?
What is the wish?
Local biography or history.
I loved his reaction when she says, "What does thee wish?" He's like, "What did you say?" That was so funny. He's like, "She is eccentric." It's funny.
These stories are beautiful. Why, Connor, they're almost poetry. You talk so big and tough, and then you write like this. Which is which?
Both, I guess.
I believe you put the toughness on to save your skin. I know a little about that.
So I really liked that we get an insight into both Tracy's and Connor's character. So I just thought that was a really fitting moment, especially in a library. It was just an intimate moment, and I really enjoyed that.
I think you'll find everything you need.
Use any old one, but I think you'll find most of the junk in there. Yell if you need anything.
Okay.
Wow, so they have like a fitting room for their or changing room for their pool, like a pool house type. That's cool.
Forsaken your beloved whiskey and whiskies.
Whiskey and
Just change
whiskies.
that color, that's all. Going for the
Me?
Anything, what?
Get the heck out of here.
Oh, my dear Red, I couldn't do that. That wouldn't be fair to you. You need me too much.
Would you mind telling me just what it is you're hanging around
He's like,
for?
I am.
Oh, no. Please
oh.
don't go, Mr.
I feel bad for Connor. He's like just standing there, and they're like fighting about their past relationship, and he's just like, I need to get out of here. Like, this is getting uncomfortable. It's funny.
A nice story for Spy, incidentally.
Too bad we can't supply photographs of you on the roof.
Honestly, the fuss you made over that silly, childish
It was enormously important and most revealing.
Yeah, like I said, their personalities are very opposite. Like, the only way I can describe it is he's very calm and mellow like water, and she's very fiery and, you know, spontaneous like fire. And it's like they're not supposed to, you know, mesh, but weirdly enough, they really work well together. Like, I know that they're fighting, but there's like a chemistry there that I'm like, I really like between their characters, but also the actors who are conveying this chemistry. Like, I really like them as a pairing. I kind of want them to like end up together.
It's my vanity to have anyone who was even remotely my wife remarry so obviously beneath her.
Her bone structure is beautiful.
How dare you, any of you in this day and age, use such an idiotic...
I'm talking about the difference in mind and spirit.
They're in love with each other. They're still you can feel it. They're still in love with each other.
Why, it's a model of the true love.
What?
A boat he designed and built, practically. We sailed her down the coast of Maine and back the summer we were married. My, she was yar.
Yar? What's that mean?
I wonder if that boat, True Love, is like a symbol of their love. And by they, I mean Dexter and Tracy's relationship. Also, did she even really take a swim, or was it more like a dip?
Oh, George. To get away.
She was in that pool for like
Some
5
of the
seconds.
useful.
Also, not gonna lie, one day I would love to have a pool with like a whole entire changing place. Like, that is so cool. Because you can just, change right there. If you're wet, you can just take off your wet clothes, put it, like, that's a great idea. I'm gonna keep that in my mind for later on.
I don't believe that anyone ever was or ever will be. That's the wonderful thing about you, Tracy.
What?
Oh.
Well, you're like some marvelous, distant, well, queen, I guess. You're so cool and fine and always so much your own.
I feel bad for her because everyone's calling her like a goddess or like someone who is untouched, that can't be, that's like not on anyone's level, like far above everyone else. And I feel like she really just wants to be loved and seen as a woman who can love and who's capable of love and who wants to be loved versus this unattainable goddess that everyone, fiery queen that everyone describes her as. And I like that we get to see that, conveyed. That is a really nice pool and pool house. I'm still kind of fangirling over that. I will never get over the way when the light hits something, an object, in the black and white, it's like it's glistening in silver. It's so beautiful. Like, I'll never get over that.
You have everything it takes to make a lovely woman except the one essential, an understanding heart. And without that, you might just as well be made of bronze.
Wow. So I think that also, this situation with her father, kind of shows the audience as to why she puts up such this thick skin, because underneath it all, she's just a woman who wants to be loved. But at the same time, she's being hurt by a very important male figure in her life, her father. So I really love the character complexity in this, because it's not like, they're not two-dimensional characters here that's just like slapstick comedy and haha for funnies. There's actually a story here. And I really appreciate that about this film. Oh no, that's a lot of drinks. Let's see what happens.
Excuse me.
So this scene when Stewart's character hiccups, that's completely this whole scene right here is completely ad-libbed. And when Grant says, "Excuse me," he's saying that to Kakor because he was caught off guard by Jimmy Stewart hiccuping. And so he thought that George was going to call cut because it wasn't in the script. But because it's such a authentic moment, Kakor decided to leave it in the final movie. And I just think it's interesting because you see Grant kind of slightly break character a little bit. It's so crazy. It's so cool.
Look, Connor, what would happen to you if I used this stuff?
Why?
Well, I might want to, very much. You see, Kit is holding a dirty piece on Tracy's father. This might stop him.
Well, Tracy's father.
That's right.
Their selection for these characters, I think they did such a fantastic job of casting Cary Grant, James Stewart, and Katharine Hepburn, because their character dynamics, when they interact, it feels like a natural interaction. It doesn't feel forced, or it really doesn't even feel like they're acting. It just feels very natural, and I think that is a product of good casting.
I'm used to whiskey. Whiskey's a slap
Oh,
on the back
jeez.
and champagne's
What is going to
heavy
unfold?
mist for me.
Two very drunk people late in the night does not equal something good.
Tracy, Samantha. Tracy, Tracy, Samantha. Tracy.
Wee!
You
That's funny.
marry. You're wonderful. There's a magnificence in you, Tracy.
I can tell that Katharine and James and Cary, they all had a lot of fun with this movie. Like, you can just tell by the way that they're acting. Like, they're so comfortable with each other. The chemistry has been built. I wonder if there's, I don't know if there's like a blooper reel or like if there's stories behind the scenes. If you guys find any stories behind the scenes of this film, please let me know in the comment box, because I would love to know some of the stories. I feel like they were probably like joking with each other and laughing, you know, in between scenes. Like, I just feel like they had a good time making this movie, and it's just so, it's so present in the way that they act.
I don't seem to have made of bronze.
No, you're made out of flesh and blood.
That's exactly what she wanted to hear. That she's a woman and not a goddess. To be loved and not to be worshipped.
Are you sure?
Why, yes, of course.
Oh my god, he just kissed her.
Golly.
She's about to get married though. Oh no. I told you, 2 drunk people late at night does not equal something good. Oh my god. Oh no. They're like, what are you doing?
Hello, Dexter. Hello, George. Hello, Mike.
Oh no. Oh my god. Look at George, he's seething. Oh my god.
Why, you lump.
Oh.
Say, listen, what right have you...
Oh, so funny. Back in 1934, there was this thing called the Hays Code that came out that basically restricted movies to show any, you know, like excessive violence or excessive sex. So I think one of the things that they did in order to kind of get around that is the character, we know that she's divorced, and in her divorce, it's given a kind of almost like a loophole or kind of like a way around the code where she can still be with other men. Like, it's not, there's no infidelity that's happening because she's not married. You know, she's been married once, but she's not married now. They weren't allowed to show like infidelity and stuff like that, which is also why Brief Encounter was so like risky back in the day, because it showed 2 people who were married falling in love with each other. That now that I did the research, that makes so much sense. Wow. If they were to watch movies from 2021, they would be very much surprised at some of the things that, you know, that we're allowed to depict in movies now. But it's funny.
Oh, Dexter. I've done the most terrible thing to you.
Why do I come into it anymore? Aren't you confusing me with someone else, a fellow named Kittredge or something?
George!
I'm telling you, she still loves him. They're gonna get together at the end of this. She's clearly with a man who's not right for her, and the man that's right for her is literally right there in front of her. This is a really good movie. I really like it.
Last night was so shocking to my ideals of womanhood that... Now, don't go. You might as well hear it, too. To my ideals of womanhood, that my attitude toward you and the prospect of a happy and useful life together has been changed materially.
Oh, so so George was about to call off the wedding because of what he saw yesterday with her and Connor. Interesting.
It may interest you to know that this so-called affair consists of exactly 2 kisses and a rather late swim, after which I deposited Tracy on her bed in her room and promptly returned down here to you 2, which doubtless you'll remember.
Ah, so there wasn't an affair. It was just what we saw as the audience, minus the swim. But it was just like, okay, I get what's going on now. I get it.
Come on, Tracy, it must be late. Let's let bygones be bygones. What do you say?
Yes, and goodbye, George.
They were considering Katharine Hepburn to play Scarlett O'Hara. I just now seeing her in this movie, because I've never seen her in a movie before this. I just wonder how different Scarlett would have been portrayed if Katharine played Scarlett. Like, that would be, I would love to see that. I'd love to see how she would take on that character. But that was just an interesting thing that I didn't share in the Gone with the Wind video.
There goes George. Da dee da 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 dee da 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 da.
Oh my god, he broke character again. Oh my god, I love Cary Grant. He seems so... I don't know how to describe it, but I love him. Again, his presence, the way he acts, especially in this film.
Dexter, what next?
2 years ago, I did you out of a wedding in this house by eloping to Maryland.
2 years ago.
Very bad manners.
Which was very bad manners.
But I hope to make it up to you by going through with it now as originally planned.
But I hope to make it up to you by...
Oh, they end up together. Yes. I knew it.
How do I look?
Like a queen, like a goddess.
And you know how I feel?
How?
Like a human being.
Do you know how I feel?
How?
Proud.
Oh, I love that. Oh, wow. What a great line. Oh, wow. This is so cute. I love the ending. I love it. Wow. What a great film. Wow. Yeah, I really enjoyed that film. I think it was witty. It was entertaining. The actors in it felt very, natural. It was funny at parts, but then also on top of that, it wasn't two-dimensionally funny. There was a story behind it, and there was a complexity to Tracy's character that I really I felt. So I think it was a really well-rounded film. And I loved the screenplay, like the script, the dialogue was probably my favorite part of this. So I think I'm going to give this one definitely a 9 out of 10. It was one of my favorites on this channel by far. And yeah, thank you again to Nicholas Bielik and Jabberbone1 for recommending it. I really liked it. As you can see, I'm still kind of laughing and reminiscing about it. But yeah, it was really good. So thank you so much. All right, everyone, that does it for this video. If you liked it as much as I did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification to stay in the loop. So starting next week, I am actually going to be posting twice a week. So I'll be posting every Wednesday and Saturday, which means double the movie reactions and double the recommendations. I'm so excited. But next Wednesday, we are going to be watching My Man Godfrey. I'm so excited to watch this film. But other than that, please everyone stay safe and healthy. Thank you so much for watching the videos, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Bye everybody.